Join me. Wow, guys. I just found out that Graham Hancock is absolutely obsessed with me. Seriously, this came as a surprise. It was only a few months ago that he posted on his social media accounts that, quote, "You won't be seeing much more on this page about Flint Dibble. I'm done with the guy." But just this week, he couldn't resist and shared a new video called Debunking the Debunking Industry. In that video that he posted on Thursday, I am mentioned 42 times.
Vicious attacks, and from the same group of people. John Hoops at Kansas University, Flint Dibble at the University of Cardiff. And here's a little bit of a clip from Flint's derisive attitude towards a very serious research. Flint Dibble attacking ancient apocryphs. Flint Dibble, of course, got in on the act, and actually they gave Flint Dibble an award, the Occam Award, for precisely for debating me on the Joe Rogan Show.
Yeah, listening to Flint Dibble is a great way to put your foot in your mouth. Let me be real clear about this. Flint, Dan Fallu, a bunch of these assholes, if you talk to them, they're science educators. They will lie to the public about the science in order to save Flint Dibble's face. When you go back 40 years, you didn't see dumbasses like Flint Dibble putting their foot in their mouth and be sold.
I'm absolutely blushing. Clearly, Graham, you lied. You ain't done with me, baby. As Jason Colavito summarized in his review of this video, quote, "Most of the conversation involved expressing anger and upset at Flint Dibble. Not only did Graham mention me repeatedly, he dug in depth, playing clips from my YouTube videos and showing several of my tweets and published articles. Obsession, obsession. This is just sad. The pettiness of the best-selling author and TV show host we know as Graham Hancock reeks of absolute desperation. So okay, this is Archaeology with Flint Dibble, and I am Flint Dibble. Let's dig in again on the archaeology wars that have taken over social media. Graham's new video was actually a recorded lecture from an event he hosted in April called The Fight for the Past. An ominous name, right? Which of course makes his tweet saying he was, quote, "done with me," even more of a lie. The tweet was posted only 3 days after this video was recorded, knowing he'd be publishing it later. Graham Hancock is simply put a liar. The event itself was a thinly veiled attempt to smear archaeologists. And guess what? I was enemy number one. Seriously, look at this. This was the shirt that Graham's co-presenter Dan Richards wore on stage for their conversation after this talk. After I saw Dan post this shirt on Twitter in a toxic post complete with a strap-on joke, I nicknamed it a Flint bashing event.
If they can get Graham Hancock to spend enough time fighting with the Flint Dibbles, then we don't get Ancient Apocalypse Season 3.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
fuck those guys. Sorry.
It's
Sorry.
It's very much about that.
Fabulous. I really hope we don't get Ancient Apocalypse Season 3. It's a stupid, trashy TV show. The reality is that from Graham to his top fans, they are absolutely obsessed with me. They love to say that they're not obsessed with slandering me and my colleagues, when in fact their entire shtick is projection and rage-baiting. For example, Dan Richards claimed in a tweet last week that, quote, "Flint and John Hoops make their entire lives revolve around Graham Hancock, and then cry when people call them out for it. You guys are obsessed. Hypocrites on a level I seldom see in meat space." Dan, again, this is a lie and pure projection. I have made a total of 6 videos that focus on Graham Hancock, which pales in comparison to the 27 videos with over 9 hours of content that Dan has made with a focus on me.
Watching the debate, and everybody's like, "Oh, Flint won, Flint won, Flint won." It's like, dude, I noticed that Flint seems to be doubling down yet again on this sort of thing. I criticized Flint Dibble. Flint is a food guy. He does deal with animal bones and seeds and shit, right? but he's going to weigh in on architecture like he's some expert. So a guy like Flint is actually, in my mind, he's kind of a traitor. I knew that as soon as Flint saw that, even though he's got the self-awareness of the slug, I knew that he was going to take one look at that and just be like, oh my God, Flint has gone crazy, sports shirt on you. You're just spouting out absurd bullshit while you try to debunk Graham Hancock. It's almost like people like Flint Dibble and John Hoops have established this kind of culture.
Flint Dibble was kind of full of crap.
Everything was up in smoke after the whole Flint Dibble debacle. Flint Dibble was a piece of shit, and Flint Dibble is a piece of shit. Flint just declared himself the special needs kid.
If anyone is obsessed, it's you, my man Dan. All you have to do is search my name on Dan Richards' Twitter profile. And you'll see that he's made hundreds, if not thousands of posts mentioning me in the last couple of years. Look, man, I won't fuck you. I'm sorry, too much beard for me. Plus, I'm very happily married to an awesome partner who I love. And you, Dan, are absolutely obsessed with me. It's unhinged. Graham's post advertising the video on Thursday mentioned that archaeologists who debunk him are toxic. But just take a look at the content Dan creates about me. It's nasty and vile. The very definition of toxic. Graham, you were the one sharing the stage with this toxic troll who was wearing a t-shirt insulting me. A recent AI analysis of Dan and me on social media, shared by YouTuber Craig Ganford, even highlights Dan's obsession with me. It notes that Dan frequently makes personal attacks, and that this volume suggests dedicated content creation. Dan's own fans have noted that too many of the videos he makes are about me. Many have repeatedly asked him to, quote, move on and let go of his obsession with me. Their words. This strange fascination with me is also found in smaller anonymous accounts. Let's check out the Twitter persona called Flint Dribble that makes deepfake AI videos of me saying stupid shit.
Okay, so let's just once and for all debunk the stupid claims about the pyramids not being tombs. Let's focus on the facts and just use simple logic, which luckily is my strongest ability. So let's first take a look inside the King's Chamber and see what we find in there. Do you guys notice the coffin? It's kind of hard to miss, but then the pseudo guys say, but that's just a box and a body was never found inside it. So now let me show how utterly stupid this type of argument is. Now take a look at this. Here we have another box. And yes, it is also empty, but I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be a body in there. Because just like the King's Chamber, it's a damn coffin. Now that's a big checkmate.
Check and mate! Man, I need to steal some arguments from my AI doppelganger.
So I've been doing a little bit of thinking lately, and I've come to realize that our approach hasn't been the best at times. Maybe we shouldn't be so judgmental. Maybe our arrogance and smugness has a negative impact on the archaeology field.
What the hell are you talking about, Flint? Are you okay? You seem a bit different.
I mean, maybe we shouldn't act like complete jerks.
Wow, David Minion and Flint Dribble together? Seriously, these AI deepfake videos are getting way too good. And clearly way too easy to make.
Welcome to another amazing episode of Flint Dibble Explains. Today we're going to take a closer look at the dangerous men of pseudo-archaeology. But before we begin, I'd like to thank all my fans for being a part of Team Science. I'm glad you did the right choice. So let me go through the pseudo-network and lay it out for you. I've been mapping these shady characters for over 10 years now. I probably know more about these guys than they do themselves. First, we have Joe Hogan, who is the main guy to platform all these lunatics. He has way too much power and clearly has an anti-science agenda. He only had me on once, and that tells you all you need to know. Then we have the grandfather of pseudo-archaeology, Mr. Graham Hancock. He is especially dangerous because he looks like a nice old man, but trust me, the devil is whispering in his ear and everything he says is a lie.
Okay, these deep fakes are kinda eerie. These wacko copycat tactics happen in person too. In June, at the Cosmic Summit, the pseudo-archaeology organizers handed out masks with my photorealistic face. The hollow eyes give me the
Browse as long
heebie-jeebies.
as you like.
And Graham's buddy, Randall Carlson, even got in on the action. I won't lie, the obsession this group has for me is just creepy, man. Because of Graham Hancock and Joe Rogan, there is now a large Flint hate cult that has grown online.
The Flint Dibble approach. That guy embodies what you don't like about academia. You see him physically, he embodies it. That's what it is. It's these weak men, these weird, kind of bitchy, weak men.
By the way, don't miss my video about Joe Rogan's obsession with me. I'm not gonna lie, Joe. Teaching pays shit. So it's absolutely generous of you to let me live rent-free in this dome of yours. It's rather spacious in here. I occupy so much space in their heads because I made Graham look like an absolute fool during my debate with him. Graham desperately wants to rewrite history and make you believe that I distort things, which is, of course, projection again. He regularly claims that I manipulate and control the media against him. Seriously. This tactic actually started during the debate itself.
Here we have, you have great influence on media and culture. You say that you just have a small YouTube channel, and that's true, Flint. You do have a small outreach on YouTube, but you have a much larger outreach with journalists. And Flint and his colleagues have really created a huge fuss in the media about me. And this is just a small example. Satan loves Graham Hancock the most.
But wait a minute.
Not me.
But hold on, they didn't post that, right?
Who?
That
Oh, no.
Satan loves Graham Hancock the most?
I'm talking about Flint's influence on media.
Can
and
I
culture.
make a
but
quick
hold
comment?
on. But you can't connect Flint to that. Go back to that image again. You
Yeah,
can't connect Flint to this.
Well, I
Can I make a quick
but
comment?
this Satan loves Graham Hancock the most is either one of two things. It's either an insane person or it's some sort of a propaganda campaign. It's someone who's trying to dismiss you or get the fundamentalist Christians against you.
It followed the onslaught on my work following the release of Ancient Apocalypse.
I understand, but this person might have gone after you anyway.
I'm talking about
Can I
the
make a quick comment
influence
about
on
my
media.
media
and culture.
influence?
Well,
a lot
I'm
of my
gonna-
media influence has to do with you announcing this conversation. The media rarely ever got in touch with me about you until you announced this conversation over a year ago. And then since then, I've had plentiful journalists get in touch with me to comment on things related to your show. So you're the one that's actually given me this media platform. I do not go to these journalists at all.
That's
They
simply not true.
contact me and
Well,
then,
which is great because that's why you're here, and
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here to do this, and
Thank
I
you.
think we could do this amicably.
But even after Joe pushed back, Graham kept bringing it up.
We just don't have time to go there. I'm
Okay.
actually giving a presentation on Flint's influence on media and culture, the influence that Flint and his colleagues have on media and culture.
I guess repeating it over and over and over and over again makes people believe it more.
But I would just love to just complete this little point that I want
Yes.
to make here, which is the influence of Flint and his colleagues on media and culture, who see me as public enemy number one and who have quite a substantial outreach in the media.
This is nuts. Even now, a year after the debate, I am a relatively unknown archaeologist. No TV show, no regular newspaper column, no $1 million book deal. Graham Hancock was the one who gave me a media platform by announcing our debate in the style of a wrestling promoter. I've done my best to share real archaeology on YouTube, but more people still see his YouTube videos than
My
mine.
wares are
In
renowned.
Thursday's video, Graham yet again highlighted my media influence. He lies and says I organized a campaign for the Journal of Archaeological Prospection to retract a peer-reviewed paper about the site of Gunung Padang, written by Graham's buddy, Danny Hillman Natawidyaya.
So here he is. He managed to get Danny's paper retracted. He brought archaeologists to put pressure on the journal, and eventually they crumbled under that pressure and they retracted the paper. Others. Why did poor Danny's work get attacked by archaeologists? Because he'd been on my show. As simple as that. If he hadn't been on my show, what happened to his paper would never have happened. He published a paper about Gunung Padang. That paper was peer-reviewed and it was accepted for publication. But then the Flint Dibbles and the John Hoops started to come in and spread all kinds of shit over all of this, and we get press articles. Really, really weak. Experts attack claim that Indonesia's site is world's oldest building, you know it goes on. Here is Flint Dibble claiming that there's nothing at all to see at Gunung Padang, and we shouldn't waste our time on it. And Flint has caused a lot of trouble for Danny.
This is a straight up lie. Much like
No need to rush. Take care. Care for a story?
For you, young one. I'll ask Shambrin about this one.